Well, hey everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to another chapter, final chapter, working on this guy right here. That's our P-40E Warhawk by Hasegawa. So, please run the intro and I'll finish this up, okay? Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay guys, well, we're going to finish her up today. We've got her pretty much ready to go. Basically all I've got left to do is add a little bit of dirt and grime and some dust and that kind of stuff to make this thing look a little more authentic, authentically old and used. So I'm going to be adding some black pigment, and I'm going to be doing some panel liner on the bird and a little bit of engine grime. A couple of different colors, a couple of different things. So we're going to start off. What I actually need to do first, and it just came to my mind, are little holes that we have in the bottom here on each wing. I need to paint inside those. Those got to be black. I just remembered those need to be done. So we're going to grab some flat black and do that before we do anything else. Okay. So change the camera, you can watch me paint. Yay, you can watch me paint. Woohoo! Yeah, yeah. There we go. Let's bring this over here. Here. I'm going to get just inside these. Because realistically, these are the holes where the spent shells come out when they shoot the gun. I'm not sure about these other little 3 square ones, but I might as well do that. Get these all painted in there. If you happen to touch the edge, you can just do this and you can help yourself out with the smearing, because that's what's going to happen anyway. So if you happen to touch the edge with your brush, don't panic, because that's perfectly all right. I just did there. I'll be adding pigment on here anyway and brushing, so you can do smear to the direction of air travel. There we go. So we got that side done. Let's do this. Touch the side good on this one. That's okay. Smear. See, that's exactly what we need. Touch the side on this one too. Smear. Oh, I forgot my little ones. Forgot my little ones. So, don't think this video is going to be very long. Don't have a lot to do. Usually just doing the panel lining, it doesn't take that long to do, but who knows? We will find out soon enough, won't we? Okay, any lines I got? Just do that. There we go. Okay, so that's done. Let's put that there and I'll clean my brush off. Alright, brush is clean. So with that done, we're going to use our, I've got the AK Interactive panel liner. This one is for gray and blue camouflage, and guess what? Our bottom of our plane happens to be gray, so there's a lot of pigment in these things, so I'm going to shake it up real good. Okay, with that done, we can grab a brush. I'll use this brush. The nice thing about this stuff, you don't have to be precise. You guys have seen me use this before on my other builds. F-15s, 14s, all my other planes that are gray. All the time. And I just kind of slather it on. Go over every line. You guys have also seen what happens when I put this on without doing a gloss clear coat first. And that's what I'm going to call done with the panel lining. I think that's good enough. I don't think I need to do much more. Now, let's close this up. And I will clean up my brush. Let's put this here out of my way so I can clean up. Alright. So the next thing we do is we're going to take some AK odorless thinner. This is pretty much the same stuff as white spirit. Okay, so I don't think there's really anything except maybe they've done something with this one so it doesn't smell at all. There's no odor, but they do the exact same job. Okay, but for now, we don't even need any of it because this is fresh. We're going to start to wipe, okay? And we'll start it. We'll just start wiping. You got to press a little bit hard, but we're going to wipe like this, okay? And that's going to make it really dirty. Okay, I'm going to move my paints out of the way so I'm not going to knock them over here. Need a little more room. Now, yes, it's going to help if you have this actually dampened a little bit with some of that. That's going to help a lot. So what I can do is grab grab a Q-tip, dip it in here, just kind of wet a spot like this, so my cloth is damp with a little bit of the thinner. Okay. And now with that damp there, when I go to wipe, it's going to wipe it cleaner. Of course, it helps if you use the right spot on the cloth, which now I can't find. I'm going to grab a new cloth. Let me fold this over. Let's do this. There. That's better. I know exactly where it is. See, suddenly that really just activates it like crazy. Now, how greasy, how grimy you want it is totally up to you. And look at that. That is dirty. But that's what happens when you put so much panel line on there. But this is okay because we can clean this up as much or as little as we want. I could leave it just like this if I really wanted and just look like a filthy looking underside. But that's not really realistic because the top is nowhere near that filthy, right? But you get the idea. I'm definitely not going to leave it that filthy, but for this little purpose here of just reactivating it and getting it done, getting it cleaned up, I am going to leave it for a minute or two anyway. Really am just turning it into a really super dark gray streaky underside, aren't I? What was I thinking when I started this? Am I regretting my decision? Maybe. Have I gone too far? That's possible. So now this thing looks disgusting, doesn't it? How am I ever going to clean this up? It's really just nasty looking, isn't it? Now I just got a really nasty looking bird. Yeah, you're nasty, alright. Nasty, nasty. Now, for getting in here, I am going to have to kind of get in there with a toothbrush, or I keep saying toothbrush, Q-tip. And maybe be really careful, with that around my bomb mounts. And other things. You can basically, if you can't really get it out of there, then okay, well maybe there was a leak. There's an engine leak. And something leaked and they never really cleaned it out. And that's the story you can tell with that. There's a hydraulic leak there's a hydraulic leak in the landing gear at one point, and it leaked all over, and they never really cleaned it up very much. They just left it. That's the story there. I got this little guy here. It's a little too much there. This one I am going to leave dirty because I know that grime does tend to come out of there, out of the chin, so I'm going to leave that. Okay, so with that done, that's part one of the process, but I'm not going to leave it this dirty. It's a little too much. I'm going to pick another spot on my cloth, and I'm going to get that there. Let's clean this off. Okay. Now, with a clean spot of the cloth, clean it up a little better. And with this pass, it's definitely cleaning up. Much better, much nicer. But I want to take that one dirty section and I want to get on here. Because I missed this part of the wing. Got to dirty that up a bit. There we go. Okay. Where's my spot go? Is it this spot? Where'd it go? There it is. Let's flip this around. Okay. Back here. Go. There. Now it doesn't look quite so crazy dirty, but it is dirty, and that's the main thing. That's what I wanted. I wanted dirt. I want that dirt to show. This thing is not a brand new plane, and it's not, you know, it's not neglected either. Okay? So now we're going to do the top. Okay? The top is going to be pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same process. Okay, shake this up again. I don't see him lying here. I don't feel him anywhere. So I guess he's gone. Disappeared. I'm gonna clean my brush. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's such a tiny little detail. Sometimes it just happens. And now to make my life easier, I am going to get a new rag. There we go. Okay. Thinner. And dirty wing. I got dirty fingers from grabbing the other one. Let's turn this around. Drop it down. Sure, that angle works. Now I gotta be careful with my little thing over on this side. My cloth could very easily just snag on it and rip it right off. Alright, nice and dirty. We'll move on to the front here. A little hard to get in that little channel. There we go. A little difficult to get up in that, I'm going to call it the hood scoop. All right, we're looking good. Along the sides of the fuselage, I figured there's not going to be a lot of grease and grime. It's just going to be leaving it in there for the panel line detail, really. Just making sure I got every spot and I haven't left any. And we'll do our tail fins. Or stabilizers, as they are often called. Go. Turn that around. There we go. And there we have it. We've got a quite uniformly dirtied up plane. With one exception. This guy. This guy needs a little bit of stuff wiped on him too. Otherwise he's going to look like a brand new cone while the rest of the plane looks filthy, dirty, and grimy. So I'm just using the excess that's on this and just kind of wipe it on here so that it looks relatively the same as far as the look goes. Okay. Alright, that's it. So, the next thing to do is to add some more specific streaks under here. Clean that up. So to do that, I'm going to take my, where did I put it here? Engine grime. And what I'm going to do with the engine grime is just add little dot. We'll do dot there, do a dot here. That's good enough, I think. There we go. And what we do with that is streak it down. This. Now, I find it a little bit challenging to do straight lines. If you do short, it makes it a little easier. If you're like me and you screw it up and you do crooked lines, that's okay. Because this stuff, we can reactivate it. Even though I've just kind of done this and now it's kind of dry. Now I got a dry brush, right? That's okay, we just dip the brush in the thinner. Dip the brush in the thinner, dry it off a little bit, and that's going to reactivate it so we can streak it longer. Like this. And we can do our streaks and we can blend them in a little bit. And of course our little mounts make it a little bit challenging. Kind of blend it in a little bit. We have our little dots here. Brush dries out, just dip it in the thinner, dab it off a little bit, and reactivate it. There we go. And you can pull that as far down as you want. And you see, I have a terrible time trying to do straight lines. I don't know why, but I do. Straight lines are a challenge for me. I want to do a little bit of streaking like this. Add some streaks, like specific kind of streaks, like this. That's not bad. I think that's pretty good. This is a little ambiguous here, what's going on. There we go. Okay, that's enough for the grime. Now we're going to do some soot. Basically doing the smoke stains that happen. So what I'm going to use is AK's pigment. It's just black pigment. That's all it is. So this is just a powder. Okay, that's all it is in there. It's just powder. You want to use a dry brush, and which means I don't want to use this one because that's wet. You want to make sure your brush is dry. And we're going to add some soot from our gun barrels and from our deposit areas. So just dip that in there. Now this stuff it's powder, right? So it's a little messy. So we're just going to do this. Just lightly touching. And same here. The more you put on, the darker it'll get. Okay? There we go. Just like that. Just kind of feather it out very lightly. The amount that I want this plane to portray, I want to do a lot. Okay, so shake off the excess. I'll do on this side here. Very lightly. And then same with these. Okay. Here's my guide. It's very subtle. Kind of blend it all in as it kind of accumulates underneath this little bump. There we go. Okay. Also, don't forget the top. They do get a little bit of soot on the top also. I mean, these are, but the airflow, of course, isn't the same on the top. You get a lot more airflow through the bottom of the wing than you do on the top. But I have seen the photos. There is still a little bit on the top. In fact, it's kind of like all around the muzzles. There we go. Okay, the last thing is our exhaust. There is going to be some exhaust stain on the wings, or not on the wings, but on the side of the fuselage, and it kind of follows the pattern like this. Sorry, you can't see. Kind of like this. I'm going to just kind of tap on the tips of these with it. It's kind of like that. Turn the plane around. Kind of like that. Okay, it's kind of subtle. There's not really a lot. Maybe I'd do more. Okay, we'll do the other side. Like this. And just tapping the tips of the exhaust with it, and getting in there. Like that. All right. That's it. Just adding a little something to the center here. All right. So with that being done, what looks kind of strange is my bay doors are pristine. So I'm just going to kind of dirty them up a little bit here. Just didn't look right. Something didn't look right about them, you know? Same with the inside here. It's accent my interior of my bay here. There we go. It looks a little smudged and weathered just a little bit. Kind of makes it look better. Alright, I'm going to call that done. As far as weathering goes, that's done. So we're going to clean up my brushes. I'll just put this here for now. Clean my brushes. So I got to clean these guys up. Okay. Now we can finally glue our fuel tank on. The fuel tank technically has 6 points that it touches, but these 4 on the sides, they don't really touch. It really only mounts to the 2 points in the middle there. But just for the sake of trying to keep it balanced, I will put glue on all 6 parts. And glue him in. Like so. Fuel tank is in. Just like that. Okay. Put our prop in. Doink. Just like so. Okay. There we go. So, that's it. The last thing to do on this bird is to do a flat clear coat and seal all of this stuff in. Okay, which is why you may have noticed I've got my rear window here masked off again, just so that I can do the flat clear. So, I've got my Tamiya TS80 flat clear. And I'll do the bottom first. Okay, give that a couple minutes to dry. In fact, I'll turn on my fan because it just sprayed some aerosol. So yeah, it's good to have good ventilation. Remember guys, you gotta have good ventilation in your room, especially you're spraying this kind of stuff. Yeah, acrylics, you know, Vallejo paints, you can get away with not doing that, but enamels and lacquers, you definitely want to have ventilation. Okay. Do the top. And I'm going to call that done. Done and done. So, the only thing left to do is just remove the masking tape and finished. And that is going to end this build, guys. That's it. You guys have seen the whole process now. There she is. Ta-da. Let's see if I can get away with removing this on camera. This one. and 2. There we go. But what about this? We gotta get that off of there, don't we? We got our main window masks. There, I'll change the camera back to overhead so you can see. And I've got masking tape on the inside of the window, so I'm gonna have to dig in there and remove that. So that doesn't look too good right now. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. You got masking tape inside the window. Oops, and I just broke this off. Damn it. See, I hate putting those things on. I hate putting those things on the tip of the wings. Break them off every single bloody time. There we go. Okay. So there's basically the finished product right there. Bingo. There you go, guys. Just like that. Except, of course, for the masking tape in there. I'm gonna have to dig in there and get that out. But yeah, that's it. That's our P-40E Warhawk, guys, by Hasegawa. Nice looking plane. I can say honestly that I enjoyed building it. I had fun. I had fun with this one. It's one of those few models where I actually was thinking, you know, I want to get to it, I want to get to it, I want to do it. I actually enjoyed this one quite a bit. It was fun. Anyway, I'm not sure what's going to be next. I don't know if it's going to be a car or a tank or what, but or another plane, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. I am still working on the Porsches with my fiance, so we got to get those done too. So anyway, hit that like button and hit subscribe, guys. Really appreciate it, and we'll see you all in the next one.